Notary Secrets: How to Make More Money Without Working More. During this free webinar, Tiger Toledo reveals how you can attract more clients with cutting-edge ways to market your notary business. You'll learn how to develop the right mindset, how to create passive income as a notary, and about how to start a notary agency. He will also show you how to build a profitable notary business on a shoestring budget. Plus, why it's tougher than ever before to reach prospects, and what you can do about it. The number one skill separating great notaries from their peers. 3 reasons it's hard to learn how to become a successful notary public. And how you can use my SmartNet system to make way more money than you are today. Register today.
Peace, peace, peace. This is your international sales and marketing hitman, your humble hip-hop sales coach, Tiger Toledo, and you already know what it is, man. You're rocking with the best. You heard? Pop the collar on this joint, man. You already know I ain't humble anymore, man, but I'm humble to the man above. But check this out, man. This was wearing on me. The Most High, the ancestors told me I need to talk to you guys about this. I'm a full-time entrepreneur at this point, man. Right? I'm a full-time entrepreneur. Ownership means a lot to me. Do I have to talk in code? Do I have to talk in code? Before we get started, man, let me make a couple of announcements on this joint, man. Let me make a couple of announcements. For you guys that want to check the Notary War Room, the Notary War Room is live now on Audible, iHeart, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, which is going to be the theme of today's show. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about, before you start your podcast, this is going to be very, very important because it has to do with ownership. It has to do with ownership. I got put on to some inside game that I didn't expect to get because I was actually in the process of canceling one of my hubs to actually jump onto a different hub. I'll get more into that. But if you guys want to check out the Notary War Room, where I interview all type of experts and guests on that show, we are available on Audible, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as Ghana, that streams in Africa right now. Shout out to Africa, Ghana and Africa. We're also on Boom, which is also streaming in India. Shout out to India and all that. You know, any culture that's supporting the kid, I appreciate you guys. Also, if you like to grab some notary gear, the notary business is an international business. It's $1 billion business. So if you guys want to cop some of this gear, go to the notarycashflowacademy.com, and then you can cop some of this gear. So that hoodie you see right there, that's the champion hoodie, the Run DMC superimposed champion hoodie. It has the gray inside with the navy blue, the New York navy blue on that joint. So it's real fresh, man. Y'all gonna see me with that come this fall, come this winter. So yeah, let's get into it, man. Let me put my Jason mask on for this one. You know, if you guys want to check out the free masterclass, I have a free masterclass. Just go to tigertoledo.com if you want to learn more about this notary industry. It's free, and I put you up on game. So today's topic, this late night that I'm doing with you guys, is about podcasts. As you guys know, I have a podcast. I used to have a podcast called Osiris Uncensored. So I've been in the podcast game for a minute now, but it was the Notary War Room that actually took off. It way bigger than Osiris Uncensored, right? So when I first came out with the podcast, I wasn't on, there was no Spotify, there was no Anchor FM, right? There was a company called Podomatic, right? That's Podomatic, Podomatic. Let me see if I could put that in there for you guys so you can see exactly, because this is the company that I recommend. If you're looking to control ownership of your podcast, I highly recommend Podomatic, okay? So let me put that in there for you guys so you guys can see exactly what it is. Right, boom. But this is Podomatic. This is how you spell it. Podomatic. Podomatic, you can go to podomatic.com, okay? And then you'll be able to get a membership. It's free, but as your podcast grows, you will have to get more storage, more bandwidth for your podcast. So not too long ago, I was going to cancel my subscription because I'm hearing all about, Anchor FM. Anchor FM is the shit. They're doing this over on Anchor FM. It's also owned by Spotify, so just let you know, like everything that shines, everything that shiny, glamour, and glitz ain't always the wave. You know what I mean? So I put in the an email letting Podomatic know that I'm ready to cancel. I'm about to make this move over to Anchor FM, right? So I'm thinking it's going to be an easy process. All right, it was good having you over here. Peace out. Have a good day. And I'm thankful. What is this chick's name, man? I'm thankful for LaMonica. I'm thankful for LaMonica for sending me this email, because this email helped me understand that there was treachery afoot. Okay, there was some treachery afoot. A lot of times we're agreeing to these terms and conditions of these sites and not realizing that we're losing ownership, especially when it's the creative process. So imagine that you're creating all of this valuable content, and then you go over to a platform not knowing, unknowingly, and then they hijack your name, and then they hijack your content. So while I was in the process of doing this, she sent me this letter, and let me see if I could pull this letter up for you guys. I'm gonna pull this letter up so you guys can actually look through it and read it alongside with me. All right, so this is the email right here. Right? So let me see, make sure you guys can see it. Right? So this is the email here. So you guys can actually see the date on there, right? So here's the date on it. It was March 5th of 2021. It was actually this year. So it says this message was sent to the following two people, Gullyware, and then it was sent to support or whatever like that, right? To let them know that I was actually looking to transfer all of my RSS feed, all of my content over to Anchor FM. And she said, we'll be happy to put that request in for you. But before we do, we wanted to let you know that we've had quite a few podcasters come over from Anchor FM. As you give up all your rights to your content on their network. How many of you guys knew that? I know I sure didn't, because I was about to jump into Anchor FM blindly. So then she sends me a link that says, for more information on that, she sends me the link to look at the terms and conditions, right? Then she continues and she says, here are just a couple of glaring issues around the Anchor Spotify terms of services. If you go forward with them, just do it with your eyes open. So then she goes into section 6. Spotify may also reclaim your username for any reason, including giving your username to another user of the services, and Spotify will have no liability to you if it does so. Spotify is the owner of Anchor. So in case you guys didn't know, Anchor FM is owned by Spotify, but I do believe they put that under the logo at this point now. Your username forms part of the Anchor profile URL, which in turn forms part of the way you'd promote your podcast. You probably don't want to give them your hard work for someone else. So basically they're saying that they can take your name, your username that links to your podcast, and then give it to another user. I don't know if they're selling it off like it's intellectual property, but maybe because it's attached to their Anchor FM, they feel like they actually own that intellectual property, that URL, to sell to someone else. So then she continues. She says, in section 14, this contract requires forced arbitration, which means you waive your rights to sue, to participate in a class action lawsuit, or to appeal fair arbitration. Now is a pressure group trying to make this practice outlawed in the US. So when you're agreeing to these terms and conditions, you're saying that you cannot sue them if they do some fuckboy shit, right? Also, on a related note, we are creating what we call a so-called podcaster Bill of Rights. And then they sent me the link on that because we haven't shared this with anyone outside of the Podomatic, but would love to get your feedback, about their Bill of Rights. So it's like you create this podcast, right? You create this podcast for yourself, and Anchor FM now co-ops and takes all of your content and say it's ours. Now, one thing that I did notice is that Anchor FM, for those that are looking to do podcasts, and you guys can put your comment in the comment section, please. I'd love to hear your input on this. Anchor FM, once you let Anchor FM put one of their commercials on your podcast, like if there's a commercial that's going to play between your podcasts, it almost like automatically gives them ownership of that podcast because they have put their own placement. So I want you to look at it this way. Like when I was in the music industry, right? When I was in the music industry, they were very particular that they didn't want outsiders inside the studio with us because let's just say you were spitting some rhymes and then the outsider or a guest said, nah, you should say it like this, instead of that gives contributing rights to that song. That person is now a part of that song just by that little bit of tweet. So they can actually take you to court and sue you because they are a contributor to that song. So when you are putting your song on Anchor FM and you're allowing different companies to put ads on there, you may be giving up your rights to that content as a creator. So let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about ownership right about now. I'm on that Dame Dash shit. When Dame Dash was talking to the Breakfast Club and he was breaking it down, and like, you need to own this shit. How the hell have you guys been doing the same show for 10 years and you're still in the same spot. You've taken this show from 0 to 100, and you made it the #1 show in New York. How is it that you're at the same spot, really not making any bread? So that hit hard, you know what I mean? And I'm sure that hit hard with a lot of other creators, a lot of people that created clothes and stuff like that. It was like, I want ownership. I want to own this. That's why you see Kanye West moving the way he does, going out to a ranch, creating his stuff, not partnering up with certain people, just creating and owning his brand. That's why you see all of these artists nowadays fighting for their rights. Anita Baker just got into a nasty lawsuit trying to get the rights and masters back to her music. Ashanti just got her masters back from her music damn near last week. You know what I mean? This is so important because that is your legacy. That is your dynasty. So when you're giving out your creative, product or services to other entities, let's be honest, right? And it is what it is. I'd love to hear your comments on it. When Europeans build us up, and I'm talking about Black people, African Americans, right? When Europeans build us up, it's almost inevitable that they're going to tear us down, right? They love to prop you up, build you up all the way up. And you're like at the top of the food chain. You like seeing everything from the top of the mountain. And you're like, this is what it is, right? And then next thing you know, sex scandal, drugs, you got pulled over, domestic abuse or whatever, like all of these things. And you may not have done none of that stuff. And then you get railroaded into this thing. They love to do it. We've seen it happen with so many of our entertainers, so many of our politicians or whatever, that anytime you start taking up too much for the Black people, okay, it's time for you to lose your stripes now. Now, pleasing our people, yeah, you might have to work a little bit harder, but when they prop you up, they leave you alone. They leave you alone. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. He's doing his own thing with his own community, with his own people. Let them prompt him up. But if you come to our arena, it's our show. So, you want to get on Good Morning America? You want us to do this? You want us to do that for you? No problem. We're going to give you all of that. But as soon as it's time and you do something out of pocket, we're tearing you down. So that's why you'll see that we speak in code all the time. They've been speaking in code since goddamn fucking Harriet Tubman, man. You know, swing low, sweet chariot, man. You know, like we've been speaking in code forever. You see the Jay-Z speaking in code in the media, in the music. You see Rick Ross speaking in code, trying to let you guys know about a message that's going out right now. There's something we need to own all of our stuff right now. Like for real. We need to own all our own shit. So I wanted to share that with you. If you're considering rolling out your own podcast, you might want to really look into that contract with Anchor FM, because it looks like from the email that I just showed you guys, they are taking people's creative rights. They're taking people's creative rights. They're taking your content. They're taking your username. They're selling it off. There's a lot of artists that started off and they went over to Spotify just to realize that the agreement that Spotify was giving was shit, was garbage. Now, Podomatic, the company that I use, Podomatic, love them. They have a very high distribution level. I own all of my content. They're the ones responsible for getting me on iHeart. They're the ones responsible for getting me on Audible, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. They're responsible for getting me on all those guys. Like these guys right here. Hold on. Yeah. All of these guys, Podomatic is responsible for getting me on those. So if you guys want to like look at the both of them, there might be some other streaming services too that are better than Podomatic, but just make sure that you own the rights for it. Just make sure that they're not trying to take your damn rights for your creative content. That's why it's so important. I'm a creator. I'm a creative person. I love to create products. I create products, services, packages, everything. So when I create a podcast, the last thing I want to do is create it so another person's platform say, yeah, we own your content now. I'll be ready to throw a Molotov cocktail in that goddamn building. So be very aware of these platforms. Look, we all do it. I know I do it. When that big ass laundry list of terms and condition comes on and they just put that little small ass boxes, they just say, check here if you agree. A lot of us don't read it. A lot of us, it's fucking legal jargon. A fucking lawyers wrote that shit, right? So a lot of us don't even know what we're reading. So we just want to bypass it because we're in a rush, we're urgent, we're excited, our juices is flowing. We want to go ahead and put our content out to the world so they can hear how wonderful we are. I get it. I'm there too. But when they're moving like slithery snakes, and then they're taking your content without you knowing and say, hey, I'm gonna make it real easy for us to put some ads on your podcast. And then you'll start making money on these ads, not realizing once you allow them to contribute to your podcast, it may be lessening the amount of ownership that you have to your product or service. So again, I showed you guys an email. If you guys need to look at it over again, check it out. Please be aware of these streaming services that you're putting your podcast on, because I don't want you guys to get fucked at the end. You know what I mean? So peace, love, happiness, and prosperity to you guys. I'm tongue-tied today. But I wish you guys the very best, and I will talk to you guys soon. You heard?